but he is playing a good tournament this week. He's currently 20th in the rankings, which is fair due to his inconsistency. But he is number one with many of the fans that enjoy his showmanship, exciting, aggressive play style, and obvious joy on the courts and appreciation of the fans. This is a man who truly understands what a miracle it took for him to be to where he is today, and I hope he takes this one all the way. And for me, this is a little special. His parents were from Sierra Leone. A very good friend of mine also was from Sierra Leone, whose brother was killed in the Civil War that's mentioned in here. So, we talk about the troubles that we have here. There's a lot of countries around the world where they're, literally facing close to genocide. In Sierra Leone, they were taking 14-year-old kids, giving them automatic weapons. Yep. And if they refused to fight, the rebels would use a machete to cut off their arms.
Yep.
And it's just very, very, very brutal. But this kid, he seems to be something special. When I was talking to Sue about this earlier this afternoon, she was talking about how he was having an interview, and then he saw this podcaster that he knows, and he's waving to the podcaster, "Hey, I know you." And I forget the podcaster's name, but probably the podcaster's never been recognized in public. And here's a guy in the middle of the U.S. Open, so excited to see this podcaster that he follows. So he has this youthful enthusiasm. So I'm really hoping that he's able to make it on through to the final. So that's Sue's corner.
Nice.
Sue always has something interesting to talk about. Yes. So once again, we thank Sue for giving us some facts that we probably had no. Well, Bill might have been the only one that knew any of that.
He's a fantastic story. It makes the story of the Williams sisters, which is an incredible story. Like, someone's got to be bidding on the movie rights for his life, right now, probably as we speak.
Yeah,
if they aren't, they should be. It's an incredible story, and he's a ludicrously talented player, and as Sue pointed out, capable of getting in his own way at times. And I think his emotionality that makes him so lovable sometimes also takes him off his game at times. Like, you don't want him to stop being this Quicksilver, fun, joyous man-child. But if he was slightly more businesslike, I think he'd have a couple of majors, a couple of Grand Slam titles already.
Well, and Sue just sent a correction to me. She just texted me. It was an actor from a popular TV show. Lots of laughs. So it wasn't a podcaster, but an actor from a TV show.
There we go. Okay, that makes more sense.
Okay.
Sue's always keeping me.
All right, keep me honest up here, man. Keep me honest up here, Dave.
Just in from the fact check.
Yeah, factcheck.org. There you go. Sue's right on it. Okay, let's talk a little baseball, guys. I was looking at this article, and I couldn't believe my eyes, but I want to let you guys talk about it. The White Sox have lost their 20th straight.
Going for the record. We're going for the record, James.
Started by Flexen. Bill, does his family own a major part of the team? I mean, how many teams keep a guy that they've lost 20 straight?
Gotta know something.
Short list. The amazing Mets, right, of 62 did it, I think, twice in their inaugural season, where they lost, I think, 111 of 100 and something crazy. So a record that hopefully will never be touched. But yes, it's a short list. But yes, they are proud to join it, obviously. So remember when you hear about trusting the process? Now, the problem is, in basketball, you literally can do that and get one transcendently talented player, and boom, the next year be a 50-win team. The problem in baseball is, even if you hit on 3 of your gazillion draft picks, it's going to take them a couple of years in most cases to even see the field. Maybe one of them is a late call-up. Some of the things that work in other sports just don't transfer to baseball. Baseball is its own, and once again, I wish my friend Demetrius was there, is its own separate entity. It's different from every other major sport in so many ways. If you hit on 20% of your draft picks, meaning they become contributors, you're a genius in baseball. In football, they take you out and shoot you in the back of the head. So it is a radically different environment in terms of talent, evaluation, and acquisition.
Okay.
Thinking hard, I can think of 50 can't miss prospects who missed in baseball. I'll never forget it. Todd Van Poppel being talked about as if he were literally the next Ryan. Nolan Ryan, right? Literally, people saying we found the next Nolan Ryan, right? I think he won 7 games in his major league career or something like that. So scouting baseball is impossible. That's the first thing. It's literally impossible. I don't know why people try doing it. First thing, you're better off just picking players at random.
But Reggie, 0-20.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on here, to be honest with you. I don't know I could say you've given up, but I felt like you gave up 2 to 3 games ago. Like it feels like you've been giving up. So I don't understand this. I have nothing for this because this is I do not understand this. Either he knows where the bodies are buried or something. I'm not sure what's going on here, to be honest with you.
Dave?
Well, he does have a couple wins during that period, I think, from relief pitching.
Way to bright side it, Dave.
So, but this is the thing that makes me happy. There's a team that's actually making the Pirates look half decent. I mean, this is they've been in the league since 1901, and this is their worst year in franchise history.
With a little bit of room to spare, yes. Yeah.
And man, I'm just glad. I mean, as bad as the Pirates have swooned this year once again, it's taking a little bit of the heat off of them. So I'll take that. But he has been, he's had some relief appearances in between then and he actually had 6 2/3 of a scoreless game.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, technically it was a relief game because it was the continuation of a game that had been suspended. So
man, you gotta try to string that kind of stuff together, man. That's rough.
Yeah. I guess he can't win for losing then.
There you go. There you go. Somebody's got to pick that up. Okay. All right. Here's another one. Reggie Ohtani. He's chasing history. 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases.
Exciting.
To be or not to be, Reggie? What do you think?
I'm gonna say to be because I want it to be. I'm gonna try to speak it into existence. It's exciting. It's exciting to watch, and I'm hoping that we can continue to watch it. And I'm not sure if he'll get there, but I'm definitely rooting for him. So I'm gonna try to speak this into existence and say to be.
He just had three stolen bases in one game. Was last week, Dave?
Incredible player. What an incredible player.
Yeah. He has 23 games to do it. So he needs 6 home runs and 4 stolen bases. And I looked at
doable. It's doable.
I looked at his last 5 games, and in his last 5 games, he's hit 2 home runs and stolen 4 bases, which includes the game where he stole 3. But if he maintains that pace, he's going to create a new club. He'll have a 50-60 club.
Yeah, I was going to say he's going to 60,
because he could have 53 home runs and 63 stolen bases if he keeps the same pace as the last 5 games.
Wow.
So I would say, hey, it's definitely doable.
What do you think, Bill?
I think it's doable. I just wonder. It's hard to sustain certain things. He is a really athletic, big, powerful human being. And so was Bo Jackson, right? There's certain people that come along, and as amazing as they are, you're always a little bit on edge, like, oh, be careful. You know, I get nervous every time I watch him play baseball. And I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I hope he pretty much ceases to be a starting pitcher. I don't mind if he gives you some relief innings here and there. I'm always afraid something on him is going to go. So I'm rooting for, like everybody who loves baseball and loves history, I'm rooting for him to get it. I want him to do it carefully, which I know is impossible to do. But I just always afraid he's gonna come in hard and
you don't get
over the base and something snaps and
you don't get to that level of playing easy, Bill.
I get that. But you know what I mean.
You know that, and I know that. It's like taking it easy in Ranger School. Yeah, okay.
I will kind of, you know what though, to kind of piggyback off what Bill's saying, I will tell you where I feel similarly is when I'm watching Travis Hunter play. I feel similar energy to what Bill's talking about in the sense of he's so great on both sides that you don't want anything to happen to jeopardize seeing him at all. You know what I mean? So I could get the trepidation, that kind of sense of nervousness of we're watching greatness, and you don't want you don't want something to ruin it on the other side. Or either side. Maybe you pull back a little bit to make sure you can continue that greatness on into the future. You know.
But yes, I root for people to set records because it's something to talk about, and it sets the bar for someone else to try to achieve it, and all that cool stuff.
Yeah.
I remember.
All right, guys.
I was going to say the first time somebody mentioned 50-50 was Eric Davis, of all people, who never got close. But once again, undone to some extent by being a guy who was a little bit brittle. But yes, go ahead, Jay.
Well, let's get a little football in here. Reggie, upsets in the ACC as BC takes down number 10 Florida State. Actually, they knocked them almost out of the top 25. But Florida State starts the season 0-2. Reggie, what happened here?
I mean, I wish me, Mike Norville, other people could tell you what happened. We don't know. It's interesting because this is over before it begins kind of for Florida State. And they seem to have floundered since Jordan Travis had left. Ever since that injury, I don't know if I've seen the same team since then. And I didn't expect it to start like this. Maybe they lose one of these games, but 0-2 is just not something I had in my bingo cards here for Florida State. I expected a better performance than what I've seen up to this point. It's not to say that Georgia Tech is like Kennesaw State or anything, but I just expect Florida State to be a bigger program and be in at least, I wouldn't say compete, but because the last game didn't like they were even competing the last game. You know, I feel like that spells trouble for the organization. Definitely spells trouble for Norville, in my opinion. It just depends on how much patience does it. Let me tell you something. If this guy was in Alabama, if this human being was in Alabama right here, we wouldn't even let this guy fly back to the damn state. You wouldn't even be back in his state, ran out here to getting beat the way. It's not just guys, the loss is just how it happened. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of explaining it. I don't know if they can salvage the season. This might be a situation where they're done 2 games into the season, which is incredible to me. It's incredible.
I think they have to run the table, even with a 12.
And beat some teams down, man. You got to go beat a Georgia, beat them by 20 or 30, just get consideration.
Yeah, right. but you are right though. You have to catch Georgia when the first, second, and third string are all hurt. Bill, what's your thoughts here?
The better team won. That's my thoughts. Better team won. So for those of you who watch my show, College Football Forecast, some people did predict this, in case you were wondering. So some people did see this coming, in case you were wondering. Georgia, even at its worst, has certain things. It has massive, angry people in the interior of its defense. Now, there are some large people, but they aren't that angry, who play on the interior of Florida State's defense, or at least that they're angry, they don't show it. They seem to be rather Buddhistic in their approach to playing football. They're athletic. They're this. They're that. But I don't see think about the last time you saw somebody playing on the interior of their defense drill somebody and throw them back, right? Throw them 2-3 yards back into the backfield. So people are pointing fingers in lots of places. Is DJ Younglele still DJ Younglele? Sure. But last I checked, he doesn't play defense. And that's their problem. Their offense is inconsistent and weird and sometimes surprisingly good, but mostly not. But that's not what's losing these games. People are gashing them in the B gap consistently. There's 8, 12, 7, 4, 13, 14, 20 yards being had in their B gap consistently, right? You're getting first downs on 3rd and 8s, running the ball if you want to. This is not a good interior defense. That's kind of full stop. And they have other issues, but that's the big one. The interior of Florida State's defense is soft, bad, and weak, which is not a good combination if you're trying to win football games.
Dave.
So yes, some people did see this coming.
Dave, your thoughts here.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, you had asked us about the college coaches that we thought would be on the hot seat, could be fired this year. And I had picked Billy Napier from the Florida Gators, who, of course, they got slammed by Miami. Like,
I was going to say, that doesn't seem like a bad pick either, as a matter of fact.
But, I'm not going to say that Norvell's in a hot seat quite yet, but if they lose to either California or Memphis, those are their next 2 opponents, you could see him being in the hot seat. Now, the only reason I'm saying he's not in the hot seat now is they had a first place finish last year. And they were, they made it to the semifinals of the college football playoff last year. So that has a little bit of legs. But if they lose one of these next 2 games, and then they still have Notre Dame and Miami on their schedule, man, he might be in some trouble. That's the way I would look at it. So I might add another Florida college coach to my hot seat list.
They can lose those games, by the way, too. That's very much like I'm just looking at some losses. Like, just look at guys. They can lose 3 to 4 games easily.
No, right.
5 isn't out of the question.
Unbelievable.
6, maybe.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Bill, Pac-10 draws first blood as USC beats number 13 LSU. Bill,
as some of us did predict once again. Now, part of it is the LSU. I mean, they always lose talent, but they've got to figure some positions out. Now, you can't just reach into your bag and whip out another like Heisman Trophy. Well, some teams can, but most teams cannot just reach into their bag and whip out another Heisman Trophy winner. They're not as good at wide receiver. Also, that's I think the thing people don't realize. They have good wide receivers, but not the guys they had last year. Like even LSU isn't just going to toss out a couple more first rounders at wide receiver just effortlessly. Their offensive line isn't as good as it was last year. Their defense is decent at linebacker, not quite as talented in the secondary. And once again, the interior of their defense isn't as good as it was last year. So some of these things are predictable. Plus LSU is seeing a USC team on the upswing. USC, I won't say they're back, but they're closer to back than they've been in a while. They have quietly recruited the positions they stopped recruiting well for a while, which is offensive line and defensive line. They've always recruited well at the skill positions, right? They've done that well as long as I've been alive and longer. They've been good there. But when their teams were really good, both in the old days, right, in the J.K. McKay day, John McKay days, in all the good days, in the Pete Carroll days, and the John, all the good days, they always had great offensive and defensive line play. And then when things got shaky the last few years, they still were good in the places where they've been great for so many years, but their offensive and defensive line play went into the absolute toilet. They are now getting better in those two places. They are going to be a very good football team. I will not be shocked if they're a 9-3 or 10-2 team this year. That's what I had them slated for. And yes, I thought they had. I didn't call for a full on upset, but I had them covering. I had them, winning against the spread. And I wish I'd been a little bolder in my prediction, but I've hit on a lot of predictions so far this year. It's going to catch me. It's going to, like it always does, catch up with me, bite me at some point. But I'm off like a rocket ship early in the season. I nailed the Georgia Tech game.
Well, there's always next week, so
yeah, you always get humbled at some point. But thus far, I'm on fire.
Dave, Pitt sticking with their Alabama transfer, Eli Holstein at quarterback. Who was your first impressions there, Dave?
Well, he threw for 336 yards, had 3 touchdowns.
Nice.
But it was Kent State. I mean,
there we go. The other side of the story.
They have a very fine fashion merchandising program, David.
Now they're going to be playing Cincinnati.
Renowned.
They're going to be playing Cincinnati next, and I think that will be a much better test. And actually, I went to the Pitt Cincinnati game last year when another transfer, Phil Jerkovic, started that game. And he had played at Notre Dame and Boston College. And Phil Narduzzi thought big things of this guy. Well, he lasted 6 games and ended up the season as a tight end.
Yeah, he looked like tight end.
And so I would say, yeah, it's encouraging, but look at who your competition is. Let's see what happens when he's playing some tougher competition. And Cincinnati should be a much better test.
Okay.
I'm still in the show me situation right now.
Okay. Reggie, I can kind of fashion this question to you, even though it was kind of intended for Don, because Alabama did the same thing. And I'm wondering, how many players did you get on the field? 50, 60, in this blowout here. But what did you think of your alumni? What was it, 52-6 or something like that?
Kind of the same thing that Dave just said. This is expected. We expect you to come out, and I don't know if you necessarily expect the 50 piece to be hung up routinely as you saw it this weekend because it was going around. But I do think that from Bama fans, we're jaded. We expect wins. We expect you to go out there and get these kinds of W's. So there's nothing to see here for me. This is just another week and what we expect here.
Did you mean to say wins, or did you intend to say blowouts in terms of what the hell? I'm one of the realistic Alabama fans. I'm just hoping for wins this year. The unrealistic Alabama fans are hoping for blowouts by 30 every single game, or they're gonna feel like somebody should be fired if that does not happen. So,
all right, guys, moving on here. Getting right down to the NFL and all these odds that I'm talking about, I got them on DraftKings as we've been using for the last few years. So, hey guys, no mercy, no prisoners. Thursday night football. We begin the season with the Ratbirds getting 3 from the Chiefs. The over-under is 46.5. Reggie, pick your poison.
Easy. I got to go Chiefs until I see Lamar get over the Mahomes hump. I think that he will at some point. He will. I can't say that it's going to be tomorrow night. I don't know if it's going to be now that he gets over the hump, but until I see Lamar do it, it's hard for me to just bet on the Ravens. I kind of have to go Chiefs here until I get proven otherwise.
Okay. Over under.
The 46.5. Man. Maybe under that. I think they both have good defenses. I don't know. I'm gonna go maybe a little under that, but yeah, I'm gonna go. Let me go under for the 46.5. I'm gonna go under.
Bill.
I'm gonna go just over 47, so that's over. That's how they get you, that hook. But I'm going to say 47. I think it takes at least 24
That
points.
0.5 counts, brother. It counts.
It
That's how
really
they make
counts.
money.
Really, really counts. Many empires have been lost and won over that 0.5. But I'm going to go just barely over. I think it takes 24 points to win this game, and I think it'll be a very close game. And I'm going to go just barely Chiefs. I think they literally win this game like on a late second field goal. I could see this being a 23-24 game, but they literally win it as the clock expires. And I think Lamar has maybe his best all-around performance versus the Chiefs, but I think maybe a mistake on defense or special teams late, maybe because of the new dynamic kickoff. Maybe they get set up with, they get the ball back with, let's say, 28 seconds left. They get a really good return. They take over at their own 42, a couple of quick first downs. Then they move the ball into position for Harrison Butker to win it on a 44-yarder at the buzzer.
It's a very specific outcome there, Bill.
Okay, Dave, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm going with the under. It's a Thursday night game, and of course it's at the beginning of the season, but I don't know that the offenses are going to be banging on all eight, just coming out of preseason. And I'm going to say the Chiefs by 4. I'm going with the under, and I'm taking the Chiefs.
By 4.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, Dave, Friday night, we got the Packers getting 2.5 versus the Eagles.
Well,
Go
ahead.
We'll start there.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles are a good team. I mean, this is Love's season to shine, but I'm going to take the Eagles in the -2.5, and I'm going to say under.
Okay, the over-under was 48.5. Dave, does Saquon Barkley have his first 100 yards rushing? And
No.
Love a 300-yard pass.
That was a quick no.
Yeah, I'm going to say no for Saquon. For Love, he only did it twice last season, so I don't expect to see him do it in the first game this year. However, the Eagles' secondary is kind of questionable. I think. I don't think that they're as good as they've been in the past. So there's a possibility, but I'm going to say no and no to both of those.
I don't think they were good in the past. That's why they blew such big leads. Bill.
The over-under on this one was
48.5.
I'll take the under. And once again, I think it gets close-ish. I think this game ends up being about 46 points scored. I think that it ends up 26-20. And Saquon has 88 yards rushing and 27 yards receiving. So he goes over 100 total, but no, I don't think he gets 100 just rushing.
And Love passing?
I think Love ends up passing for 283 yards with 2 touchdowns and interception.
All right. Reggie?
The under on the 48.5. Saquon had 1 rushing game over 100 yards last year. It's hard to think that number 2 in that calendar year will be now or this upcoming weekend. So I'll go under the rushing on the 100. Love under 300 on the passing. I like the.
Are you taking the 2.5 or are you giving it 2.5?
Man, I want to take it. Because I think the Eagles, even if I think they can cover. I kind of want to take it. I think I want to take it. Yeah, I think I'm going to take it.
Who are you taking, Bill, on the 2.5?
I'm still fighting myself. So I think I'm going to. The Eagles are getting the 2.5, right? Just making sure.
No, the Eagles are.
No, the Packers. The Packers are getting the 2.5.
That's what I meant. The Packers are giving. That's what I meant. That's the thing. So the Eagles are receiving the 2.5. I will take the the Birds, then I think this is a super close game. I think we see a lot of really close games early in the season.
I thought the Eagles were giving.
See,
The
this is where I'm
Eagles
going.
are giving to the Packers.
Oh, well, then no. Scratch that.
So the Eagles, so the Eagles are favored, right?
Yeah, the
Right.
Eagles
2.5
playing,
point. So the Packers are 2.5 point dogs, basically.
Yeah,
Oh.
the Eagles are playing
Yeah, no.
at home.
Then
So
no.
they're getting just less than the 3
Yeah,
points.
I'm reversing that. Then. No,
Yeah.
I think they may win the game, but not by 2.5. I don't think anybody wins this game by 2.5. I think it's another nail biter, and I think this is a 1 or 2 point game. So 2.5, no for anybody.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm the only one taking the Eagles.
Right.
2.5.
Correct.
I'm actually going to try to. I'm taking notes on who's.
I think the Packers. I just think it'll be a close game. I wouldn't imagine it wouldn't I can imagine the Eagles winning the game, but these first games, guys, out the gate are just so hard to predict. With these teams coming out of preseason, it's difficult.
Well, Dave, if you're taking notes here, I'm taking the Chiefs and I am taking the Eagles. You and I are in the same boat here.
Chiefs and Eagles.
All right, Sunday, 10 o'clock. Reggie, I think it's you. The Pats getting 8.5 from the Bungles. Over under is 40.5.
Oh, that's gross. It's gross, man. Like, do you want my picks on this? Is that what you're asking? Like, you want my pick on? I mean, I guess I could take the Bills. I mean, 8.5 is tempting. I mean, freaking 8 is tempting.
It's a lot of points.
It is a lot of points, man. But that's just no respect for the Pats, man. Like, no respect for them whatsoever. I'm gonna take. Well, I think we get Burrow back, right? The Chase situation is intriguing. I need to see if Chase is back. I don't think that's got worked out, and we're getting kind of close. We're getting pretty close. I'm not sure if he's gonna even play this week.
If he doesn't practice tomorrow, he can't play.
Okay, so then so that means we're right up against the wire here with that. If Chase doesn't play, I still think the Beagles win the game. I just think that then I got to take the 8.5. Like, I just don't think it's gonna be that bad if there's no Jamar Chase out there.
So you take the
but I definitely think that the Bengals. I want to take the points. I just think the Bengals are going to still beat them down. Like it's, but 8.5 is a lot of points, especially if no Jamar Chase. So no Jamar Chase, I would take the points, the 8.5.
Okay. Don, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Sorry I'm late, but I'm here.
All right. Well, we're gonna let you catch up here because we're talking NFL. Who you got tomorrow night? We got the Ratbirds getting 3.5 against the Chiefs, and the over/under is 46.5. Dave's keeping score now, so no mulligans.
Well, as you remember, I think the Chiefs are going to take them. Now, the over/under, I don't really pay attention to all that. I'm just going. The Chiefs will cover the spread, though.
Okay.
Nice.
Friday, Don. The Packers are getting 2.5. I mean, yeah, they're getting 2.5 versus the Eagles, and the over/under in that is 48.5.
That's a tough one. Eagles and Packers. I'm going to have a slight edge to the Pack on that one.
You're going to take the points.
Y'all were kind of breaking up. Yeah, the point. I'll take the Pack.
I think you went on mute.
I think you hit the wrong button
hear
there,
me?
Don. Yeah,
Yeah,
now you
I
can
can.
we can.
There we go.
So you're
All right.
taking the point. You're
So
taking the
no,
points.
I was saying that. Yeah, the Pat. Yes.
Okay. Does Saquon did is 100 yards, Don?
He'll get like 102, 103. Yeah, he'll get it barely.
All
Very
right.
nice.
Okay. He's like Bill, 83, but Don goes 103. Okay. Does Love have 300 yards passing, Don?
He's gonna be short of that.
Okay. All right. All right. So we're all caught up now. Everybody's got their picks in. Let's see. Who is next year? Reggie?
On what
Did we
subject?
get
I
the,
already did the Pat. I don't know if everybody did their weighed in on the Pats
wait a
situation. I
minute,
took their points.
Dave, I know I missed somebody. Dave, maybe?
Yeah, on the Patriots, I'm taking the over on the points. You only had 40.5, so I'm going to take the over on that. And I think there would be, if Bill Belichick was still coaching the Patriots, I would definitely take the Patriots in 8.5 points. But I'm still going to go with them. I think that Jared Mayo, he gets the defense to at least keep it closer than 8.5 points. So I'm taking the Patriots and the points.
Okay. Cincinnati has a new starting running back, Zach Moss. Dave, does he have 25 rushing attempts or less?
No, I think he's going to have less. I don't think he started a number of games last year, and I don't think he went over 25 carries. He may share a few of those carries.
Yeah, I think Chase
it'll be
Brown is
less.
still there.
Chase Brown's the better
Yeah, he's
running
gonna
back.
steal
At some point, they'll realize that.
Yeah.
Dave, how many sacks does the Pack defense have on Joe?
I'm going to say 2. It's going to be. I think what was it? You were looking for how many?
That's what I
I'm
had.
going to say 2, but to me the bigger thing that I'm looking for is how does Joe Burrow's throwing arm look coming off his elbow injury? That's what I'm really interested in. But I'll say 2 sacks.
Okay. Don,
Yes.
the Pats are getting 8.5 against the Bungles.
I'll take the Bengals on that one.
Ooh, okay. Does Zach Moss have 25 rushing attempts or not?
He'll have less than that.
How many sacks for the Pats defense?
Maybe 3.
Okay. Reggie, you didn't get this one, did you? I don't think.
Not this particular portion.
Bill still has to go.
Yeah, Reggie and Bill. Okay, so Reggie, you get Pats Bungles.
I did the over under. I took the Pats and over and under. The Zach Moss, we'll do this pretty quick. Under 25 rushing attempts. And because the Chase Brown situation is there, and if you're like listening to people and what the rumblings are, people don't even think Zach Moss is going to finish this season as a starting running back for Cincinnati. So it's hard to imagine you getting this amount of carries out the gate if there's already a guy waiting in the wings they're looking to get in there as well. Yes, and tax, I'll take the 3 on the sacks. I'll go with Don on their 3 sacks.
Bill.
So Zach Moss is for people who find, like, if you're the kind of person that doesn't like your Mexican food too spicy, Zach Moss is the kind of running back you'll just love. Is David Montgomery a little too sexy for you? You'll love Zach Moss. He will give way to Chase Brown, and I think it'll happen before Halloween. And yeah, he's going to be, the last time he had 25 rushes, I think he was like, I think it might have been his last year at Wisconsin. So I don't think he's done it maybe ever in his pro career, but certainly not recently.
How many sacks, Bill?
2. And the other question was over under?
Over under is 40.5.
40.5 is it, huh?
Ew.
Yikes. Well, I pretty much have to go over. I mean, God, that's as bad as the Bengals offense. I mean, as bad as the Patriots offense is, I have to believe they'll score at least a little. And the Bengals are probably going to score at least 28 themselves. So all the Patriots have to come up with is 12. Can they hold up their end of the bargain? I'm going to say yes, or 13, I guess, really. So that means if they can get a touchdown and 3 field goals, that's an over. Yeah, so I'm going to take.
Okay. Bill, the Cardinals are getting 6.5 against the Bills. The over-under is 48.
I think that is a bit of a shootout. I think both defenses are not good and both offenses are good. So, though the number scares me a little, I will still take the over. I don't think they cover 6.5. That's a lot. That feels like the money was coming in really heavy on the Bills and they adjusted the line. I bet that line was not 6.5 originally, and they're trying to get more money to come in on Arizona. That's what that feels like.
Bill, the tallest midget connects with rookie wide receiver Marvin Harrison for his first NFL TD.
No, but I think he gets close.
Okay.
I think he gets one in the red zone and gets tackled just outside the end zone. Then John Connor runs it in.
Okay. Josh Allen runs for 2 TDs, Bill.
He runs for 1.
All right. Reggie.
I think running for 1 as well. The 6.5 is disrespectful.
Yes.
This is just disrespectful. Like, I is Kyler still playing there? Like, do I need to relook at this roster to see what they're seeing different than what I've seen to see that it's just this disrespect? That's only 2 points shorter than the Patriots. Like, they believe they're 2 points close to the Patriots is what they're telling you. And it's too tempting. I think I got to take the points. I got to take the 6.5. Like, how can I got to take the 6.5. I just don't think – I think better of the tallest midget than you do, evidently. Or whoever's making these lines do. I think more of him. I'm gonna say, I gotta take the 6.5 because it just seems like a
that feels like I said. They're going to balance the money out. That's got to be what it is. I bet it opened like a 1.5 or maybe more or less, and they boosted it up to that.
What about the over under there, Reggie?
Over under 48. I'm gonna go over. I think this will be more likely a shootout, as people have said. So I'm going to take the over there on the 48.
Okay. Don, what do you think here?
Excuse me.
Bless you.
That over under that, I mean, the points, that's kind of, I don't know. That's, I don't know if I can go with that, but I don't think Marvin Harrison gets his first touchdown. I believe that Josh Allen will run for 1-1. The over-under 48, I'm going to go over.
And who did you take, the Cardinals or the Bills?
You know, I'm gonna take the Bills.
Okay. Let's see. Dave, I'm gonna take the Buccos with the 8. I'm gonna give up the 8.5. Dave, your thoughts on the Cardinals and Bills?
Yeah, on the Cardinals and Bills, I think in this first game, these defenses are going to be keying on the strength of their opponents. And I don't think – I mean, Marvin Harrison, he's not a secret. You know, they're going to be trying to contain him. So I don't see him getting 2 touchdowns. And I don't – and conversely,
he gets 1. He
for
gets
1 touchdown. I don't see him scoring a touchdown. I think Buffalo's going to try to shut him down. I don't think they'll shut him down completely, but they might keep him out of the end zone. And the same thing with Josh Allen. Him running is well known, and I think that they're going to be spying him and trying to keep him out of the end zone. So I'm going to say no to both of those. In terms of I'm going to say under on the 48 points, and I'm going to go with Buffalo, and I think that they cover the spread.
I'm going to go with the Cardinals on that one. Sticking with you, Dave, the Jaguars are getting 3.5 playing against the Fins. The over-under is 49.
I'm going to take the under on the points, even though Miami can score a lot, and I'm going to say that the Fins cover.
Okay. Dave, Jaguars running back, ATN, does he get over 100 yards rushing?
No, I'm going to say no. He gained I think 70 something last year in their season opener, and I'm going to say no.
Okay. What about wide receiver Jalen Waddle? Does he catch a TD pass?
Yeah, that's interesting because he did score touchdowns in his first 2 seasons on their opening day games. He didn't do it last year, but I'm going to say he goes 3 for 4. I'm going to say he scores a touchdown.
Okay. Reggie.
I like the Fins here. ETN under 100 on the rushing. We did it over under at 49. That's a high number. They expect this to be a shootout. I'm gonna say under, except I can get that with 48.5. Some of this. Let me just go under the 49. But I'm not with absolute conviction there at all. And Waddle, I will say catches the TD pass. Only because I want him to catch a TD pass so bad. So yes, I'm gonna say that.
Must be on your fantasy team.
On a couple of them, absolutely. I drafted a lot of Waddle this year, guys.
Bill.
Okay, I think you're asking if Waddle has a touchdown reception. I'm going to say yes. The over-under was how many again?
49.
Woo! I'm going to, as he said, with less than absolute conviction, I'm going to go under. I think that the defenses are slightly better than people think, but not much. I think they get close to it. I think it's like 27-21, so they just miss it. And what's the spread again?
49.
No, not the.
No, the
not
spread's
over,
3.5.
Oh, spread's 3.5.
The Dolphins are giving the 3.5.
Yes.
I think they may win the game, but I don't think they cover. So I'm going to say no.
I'm going to take the Dolphins in this one. Don, what do you think?
Yeah, I like the Dolphins in the points in this one. The over under 49. That's I'm gonna say that's under. But yeah, I think the Dolphins win.
Okay. Does ATN get 100 yards, and does Waddle get a touchdown?
ATN probably gets probably about 80, 85, and I'd say Waddle does get a touchdown.
Okay.
Might get
Don, we're going to talk about the best team in Texas here, and I'm not talking about the Cowboys.
Yep.
Don, what do you think about those Texans? They're playing. They're starting out. Their first game is on the road against the Colts. They're getting 2.5 points, and the over/under is 48.5.
Yeah, so I think this game might be the best game of the weekend. Just because the Texans are up and coming, the Colts have a lot of talent. The Colts also are undergoing some changes, though. But so I'm going to give the Texans. I think the Texans will exceed the spread. I think it's probably about 4 or 5 points. The over-under, I will say I'll give that an over.
Okay.
I think Stroud does get his 300 yards.
Okay.
And
Jonathan Taylor, is he held to under 100 yards or does he go?
he goes over slightly.
Oh, okay. All right. Bill.
I think Taylor ends up with 94 yards, but it's very, very close. I think even closer, Stroud, but he ends up just short at 297. And I think that what was the line, the number on that game again? The over the over under, but
Over under is 48 and a half, and the Texans are giving 2.5.
I'm going to say under on the 48 and a half, and the Texans. I mean, I literally think it's going to be a 2-point game. That's a push, but I guess if I have to pick, I think it's going to be a 2-point game. Actually, I think it ends up being literally like 30 to. Let me think about this. So no, I guess I have to go over then. I think it'd be the kind of a shootout. I'll go Colts if I have to pick, but I think it's going to be literally a 2-point game.
Now, are you going back to the over, or are you sticking with the under?
That's what I'm thinking. I might be. Let me see. I'm trying to think of how you would get 2 points if it ends up 48 and a half is the over under, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me think of how I could have a 2-point game if it stays. 20.
Well, Dave, while Bill is thinking, you want to give us yours?
Sure. Yeah, I think, Taylor gained like 161 yards last year on the Texans in the opener. Now, the Texans they're not the same team that they were day one of last season. And I'm sure that Houston is not going to allow that to happen. So I'm going to say that he's under 100 yards rushing. And I think that Stroud is over 300 yards passing. And in terms of the, I'm going to say that they're going to be under 48.5, but I'm going with the Texans to cover.
I'm going to take the Texans to cover too. Bill, have you got your thoughts together there?
I'll stick with the under. I still think it's a push, but
you can't have a push at 48.
I know, but I think if it was 2.5. I'd be going with the Colts, but it's not. It's just 2. I think it's a 2-point game. This is very.
It's 2.5.
Oh, it is 2.5. Okay.
Yeah, the spread is a 2.5 spread.
Oh, good. That helps me. Then I'm going with the Colts.
Okay. All right. So, Dave, the Titans.
Did Reggie do the Texans?
I thought Reggie started. No. Okay, no. Go ahead, Reggie.
Let me look at my list here. I don't think I did. And I'm gonna get out of here after this anyway, guys. Let me go. I'm gonna take the Texans to cover. Stroud, I have under 300 yards. I mean, this might be a trap game. I can see them going in here and losing to the Colts. Like I could see it. I could see it happening. Like I divisional man. I like the Texans just better than the Colts. What a remarkable story the Texans have been. I just want to keep rooting for them because of the remarkable turnaround in a very short amount of time in the NFL. It's incredible to see. I love the addition of Danielle Hunter. So I'm rooting for this team. Like I like the Texans as a team. I really do. I will go Stroud underneath, though. Stroud underneath 100. I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor under 100 because of what Dave just said. I don't think that they're going to let him come in there. I don't think they're going to let him do that again on opening day. So I'm going to say Jonathan Taylor under 100. What is left? Over under? 48 and a half. I'm going to say under. Let's go under on the 48 and a half. And I am out of here, guys.
No, Reggie. You are not out of here yet, dude.
I thought I was getting out of here.
Come on. we got the Steelers minus 3.5 at the Falcons.
Yeah, I will be in attendance. I will be in attendance for that. Cannot wait. Man, that's gross too, guys. That's no goodness gracious. They expect these teams to suck. Like, I mean, yikes. Goodness. Well, I gotta take the home team because they're at home, and I don't like what I've seen so far in the preseason, and I cannot stand Arthur Smith. You guys know how I feel about Arthur Smith. I will never. I will only root for Arthur Smith when he's not playing the Falcons because I love the Steelers so much, and I cannot believe he's even on the team. I'm not sure how he got there. I'm not sure who hired this. Why we hired him. I love Mike Tomlin. I'm not sure how this guy is on the Steelers to try to ruin another one of my teams. I'm not sure if he's going to be successful, but it doesn't look great. So I'm going to say because of Arthur Smith, definitely the Falcons. And let me see, 3.5 though. Goodness, 3.5, man. I don't know about that. Like, I'm going to take the Falcons. 3.5 gives me a little bit of pause on that. But I am going to take the Falcons. Bijan, 2 rushing touchdowns, maybe 1. 2 seems pretty aggressive to me. So I'm going to say 1. Pat Freiermuth catches his first touchdown of the young season. I hope so, man. I'm a fan of Pat. I don't have him on any of my fantasy teams, but I'm a fan of the guy. I want him to catch a touchdown. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know if they're throwing touchdowns. Like I don't. I haven't seen any touchdowns thrown in a long time in the yellow and black. So it's hard for me. This would have been a better Najee line. I would have trusted Najee running the thing in more than I trust what's going on here. So let me say no on the catches his first touchdown. I'm going to go over on the 42 only because I love these teams and I feel like that line is just totally disrespectful to both teams here.
Okay, now you can give us your final thoughts.
Final thoughts is football is here, guys. That's it. I don't really have anything else to say. Football is here. I will be in attendance on Sunday and hoping for a great game, guys. Enjoy some football this weekend.
All right, Reggie. Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate
you. All right.
Man.
See you later, guys.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Let's go here to Don. What about you here?
Which one?
I think we were talking about the Texans and the Colts, right?
Right, yeah.
Did we get the Texans getting giving the Colts 2.5?
Yeah, we talked about that. We're on the Titans and Bears.
Okay. Titans and Bears, Don. We're getting the Titans are +4. They're getting 4 points from the Bears. The Bears are at home. The over/under is 44.5.
I'll go over that, and I'll take the Titans and the points.
Okay. Caleb Williams. He throws 2 TDs, Don.
He throws 2 interceptions.
Okay. Oh. All right. The Tennessee defense sacks Caleb Williams over or under 3.5 sacks.
I think they'll get to him twice, but they'll put a lot of pressure on him.
Okay. Bill.
Okay, so let me think about this. The line was 44.5.
Yeah.
I'll take the over just barely, but I think they do get, 45 at least. And what were the other little prop bets in there?
Titans are getting 4. Are getting 4.5. I mean, getting 4. I'm sorry.
Titans are getting 4. And they're playing in Tennessee?
No, they're playing at Chicago.
Oh, huh. Yeah, I don't think they cover that then. The Bears might. Wait, hold on. Oh, okay.
Tennessee is getting 4.
Okay. Oh God, that's probably right about right. Oh God. Okay, well I'll go Titans. Though once again, I really think it's going to be a push. I think they actually lose by 4. Once again, this is where the hook would have saved me. But because they would tell me which way to go with this. If it was 3.5, I would have gone Bears. If it would have been 4.5, I would have gone Titans. But I'll say Titans, but I don't think they. I think they do lose this game by 4 points. I think that he has Caleb has one score running and one score passing.
So
So
that's
he has
2
two total
TDs.
touchdowns, but I don't think he passes for 2.
Yeah. Okay. No, I just said 2 TDs. If he throws it,
Oh,
runs it.
he didn't designate whether it's passing or he gets 2 TDs. Then yes.
Okay. And how many times does he get sacked? Over, under 3.5.
Under.
Dave.
Yeah, I'm going to say that they're over 44.5 points. I think Caleb Williams throws the 2 interceptions, but he also throws 2 touchdowns because they don't have the book on him. And I read somewhere that 2 of the top Tennessee cornerbacks had been hurt during the preseason.
That is
now
correct.
They may be back, but I don't know how, if they're 100% or not. So that's why I'm going with that. Tennessee might sack Williams a couple times, but he's elusive. I was watching him in one game, and he's pretty elusive. So I don't think that they're going to get him 3.5 times. I think Mason Rudolph comes in to win it for Tennessee outright. So I'm taking Tennessee in the +4.
Okay.
Mason. I love Mason
I had to
Rudolph.
sneak that one in.
Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna take the Bears in this one. Okay, the Vikings the Vikings -1.5. They're giving the Giants 1.5. The Giants are at home. Dave, the over-under is 41.5.
Oh.
Well, too bad our friend isn't here. I'm going to take the under 41.5. And let me see on the things. Was it Darnold to Jefferson for 2 touchdowns? Did you say?
Yeah, Darnold to Jefferson for 2 touchdowns, and the rookie Neighbors gets his first NFL TD.
No, I think Neighbors gets shut down, and I think that Darnold and Jefferson clicked for 1 touchdown, not 2. And I'm gonna take the Vikings giving the 1.5.
I think I'm going to take the Giants on this one here. Don, what's your thoughts here?
Well, I like the Vikings. I'll take them in the points. Over under, I'll say under. Donald Justin, they will not click for 2 touchdowns, maybe 1. And I think Neighbors will get his first TD maybe next week.
Oh, okay. Nobody's high on Neighbors like I am, I guess. Bill, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'm very high on Neighbors, and I've even drafted him in some situations. I don't think he gets a touchdown this week, but I think he ends up number 2 this season amongst rookie receivers in touchdowns. Second, I think only to maybe Rome Odunze, who I think gets a lot of red zone targets this year. 40.5. Was that the over?
41.5.
Oh, 41.5. Oh, slightly better. Then I will go ahead and take the under. I think they get to 41. So it was 40.5. I would have taken the over.
And the Vikings are giving 1.5.
Vikings are giving up 1.5, but I think they cover the 1.5. And 2 touchdowns, no, but 1 touchdown, yes. So that's a no on the 2 touchdowns to Jefferson. And I think Neighbors has to wait at least 1 more week for his first NFL touchdown.
I don't. think as highly of the Vikings secondary as you guys, but
I don't think it's the Vikings secondary situation at all. I think it's a Danny Dimes situation that prevents him from getting a touchdown.
okay, Dave. I saw Russ was named captain. I think it was a kind of ego booster because I don't even know if he's going to last the whole damn season. And we've had that before. I think I'm not sure if it was Mason Rudolph or another. I think it was Trubisky that was named the captain.
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett, okay. And as I was saying to Reggie, Dave, the Steelers are -3.5 against the Falcons, and the over/under is 42.
Yeah, I mean the thing about the captaincy for Russell Wilson, it's not an ego booster. I mean, and I think most NFL teams are the same. In the case of the Steelers, it's not Tomlin naming who the captains are. They're elected by the players. It's the players voting for who they want to be captain. And so to me, what that indicates is that they have confidence in him and that they believe he's the guy that can take them. And because a quarterback isn't always elected, Ben wasn't always elected to be captain early in his career. Now, some teams in the NFL, the coach may name who the captain is, but that's not the case with the Steelers. And my guess is that most NFL teams have their team, the players elect them. So, they elected Cam Hayward, who's towards the end of his career, T.J. Watt, and Miles Killebrew as special teams captain. And I think that's because they've earned the respect of their teammates. If they didn't have the respect of their teammates, they wouldn't elect them. And the case I would point out is the one year when Roethlisberger was having all of his issues, the women issues, he wasn't elected. He lost the respect of the team. They didn't elect him captain the one year. So, it's not a given. So I don't see it as an ego booster for Russell. He's been a captain all his entire career. And I think that he's gotten some bad press, coming out of Denver, I think, in terms of his relationship with his teammates.
What do you think? Steelers -3.5, over/under is 42.
Ooh. Well, I'm going to take the over on the points. I'm going to say the Steelers win by 3. So Atlanta takes it. I'll take Atlanta in the 3.5 points since Pittsburgh wins by 3.
No, Pittsburgh is getting it. They're giving Atlanta 3.5.
Right. And I'm saying that they're going to win by 3.
The Falcons or the Steelers?
The Steelers.
Okay.
So I'm taking Atlanta in the points.
Okay.
And with Bijan Robinson, if he's scored 2 rushing touchdowns, it's probably a runaway game at that point. So I don't. He might get a touchdown, but he's not going to have 2 rushing touchdowns. At least I hope not. And for Freiermuth, I don't think that this will be his week to score a touchdown, but I'm hoping that he makes some critical catches for first downs to keep some drives alive.
Now, Dave, I looked at our schedule, and our second half of the season is brutal.
Yes, it is.
So, as I keep saying, we have to win this first half of the season. These first 6 games are crucial to us, at least in my point of view. Dave, is this first game a must-win for the Steelers?
No. And I'll tell you why. I mean, it's going to be critical, the first half of the season for them to have a good record. They're going to need to be like 6-2 going into the second half of the season. If they really want a shot, because of the way their schedules lined up, and so if they lose to Atlanta, which is possible, I don't think it's time to stick the fork in. It's not a critical win. It's an important game to win, but it's not critical. Now, if they go to Denver and then they lose twice in a row, if they start out 0-2, then yeah, but probably you can start playing the opera music. That would be concerning. But this first game, we want them to win, but it's not critical to the success for the rest of the season.
Okay. Don, what do you think here? The Steelers are minus 3.5, and the over/under is 42.
I'll take the Steelers and the points. 42. That sounds about right. I like that. I like that number.
I'm taking the Steelers in this one. Yeah. I'm giving Atlanta the points. I think we win straight up. But Bill,
you calling a push, Don?
Yeah, I think it's about right. Bijan Robinson. He'll get 2 touchdowns, but one will be a receiving touchdown. That'll be a rushing touchdown, but that's about right. He might have more receiving yards. He has rushing yards. That's just the way he is. He's kind of like some other running backs back in the day, like Reggie Bush. So yeah.
Is that some of that Texas showing through there, Don?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah. What about Firemouth? Does he get his touchdown this week or not?
I think he does.
Okay.
I think he's gonna be a big target for the Steelers this season.
Okay. Our last 10 o'clock game, Don. The Panthers are getting 4.
Did Bill do the Pittsburgh game?
I thought Bill did. Bill, did you know it? Bill?
No, I did not.
Okay. Over under 42. Steelers getting minus 3.5 at the Falcons.
Yeah, I don't think the Falcons are going to cover 3.5. So in this case, the Steelers. I'm not going to push because it's 42.5.
No, it's 42. Not
42 on the nose. Oh God.
It's 42. No half here.
I'll go over it. I think it's just barely over. I can see this being a 23-20 game. And yeah, I think the like I said, 3.5 is a little too much for the Falcons to cover. I think Bijan gets a touchdown, maybe, and once again, like Don says, maybe one receiving, one rushing.
Remember, that's a rushing touchdown.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But I don't think he gets 2 rushing touchdowns. I don't see any. I don't know if any one single running back gets 2 rushing touchdowns against Pittsburgh this year. What else? What was the other part? Oh,
Firemouth.
I think he has to wait at least one more week as well. But I think he has a good game. I think he gets, I think I see him getting 4 receptions for about 54 yards.
Okay. Bill, I'll start with you here. The Panthers, they're getting 4 points against the Saints, and the over-under is 41.5.
I'll take the over. And the Panthers are giving the Saints 4 points?
No, yes.
Okay, that's what I was confirming.
The Saints are giving the Panthers 4 points.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Okay. I was about to say, let me withdraw some money from my 401k. Okay, then the Saints are not that much better. That's why they're better, but not that. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm taking the Panthers. It makes me a little queasy. I'm taking the Panthers. I don't think they cover the 4. I don't think the Saints can cover 4. Is there a prop bet also?
No, not for this one.
Okay, good.
Well, the over-under was 41 and a half.
Yeah.
I'm taking Carolina then.
You
Right,
say you're
because
taking
I
the
don't-
Panthers plus the 4, but they
Right,
didn't
because
throw
I
the
don't think
over-under.
the Saints are going to win by 4. I think they'll win, but not by 4. The over was 41. I don't love it, but I'm taking the over.
Don,
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Saints on that one.
and the over-under?
Be under.
I'm going to take the Saints too. Dave, it's on you.
All right, then I'm taking the over and the Saints.
Okay, Dave, the Seahawks. Denver is -6 versus the Seahawks. The over-under is 41 and a half.
Okay, I wish Bo was here. Listen to what he has to say on this one. I'm gonna go with the over 41 and a half points. On the other ones, can they sack Bo Nix 3.5 times?
No, you guys give me. You taking the -6, or you giving it, or you taking the Seahawks?
I'm gonna take the Seahawks,
Okay.
and that's a lot of points though. But then with the sack, can they sack Bo Nix 3.5 times? I mean, Seattle did get 11 sacks in one game last year but that was against the Giants. I'm going to say no to that, and Nix will be connecting with Cortland Sutton, but it might not be this game. But yeah, I mean, Cortland Sutton is their touchdown guy. He had 10.
No, that's not what it's. That's not what I asked.
What did you ask?
I asked who is he going to throw his first pass to?
Oh, it'll be Cortland Sutton, but not this game.
Okay. Don.
Yes.
We got Denver -6 at the Seahawks. Our over-under is 41 and a half.
I'll take the Seahawks, and I'll say over.
Okay, now will the Seahawks sack Bo Nix over or under 3.5 times?
Under.
Okay, Bo Nix throws his first regular season pass to who?
I have no idea.
Bill, what do you think here?
So I also will take the Seahawks, and
over under is 41 and a half.
Once again, that's right about correct. These guys are good. I'll take the over, but I don't like it. And what was it? There's a prop bet on this one.
Seattle defense will sack Bo Nix 3.5 times.
No, that's too high.
Okay. Bo Nix throws his first regular season pass to who?
Javonte Williams.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Bill, Raiders getting 3 points, playing the Chargers. The over-under is 40 and a half.
Over, and the Chargers to cover.
Dave.
Over and Chargers. I agree with Bill.
I'm taking the Seahawks and the Chargers, Dave. Just Don. Raiders +3 against the Chargers. Over under is 40 and a half.
I'm going to go. I'll take the Chargers in the points. And they'll go over 40.5, 40 and a half.
All right. Okay, let's see. This is our 1:00 game here, along with this is a 1:25 game actually. Don, we're going to talk about that other team, Jerry and the Cowgirls.
Mm-hmm.
Don, the Cowgirls are getting 2.5 against the Clowns, and the over/under is 41.
Yeah, so I'll take the Cowboys and the points. Dallas will win games until they get to playoffs. Over under, I will go over on 41. Deshaun Watson will not throw 3 touchdowns against the Cowboys.
And what about Dak? 3 TDs and 2 interceptions.
He'll throw 2 TDs and 1 interception, maybe. Hey, Dak is he's on in the regular season. This playoffs, you got to worry about him. Ask me when the playoffs come, and he'll be throwing interceptions.
Okay. Bill.
The spread was 3.5.
2.5.
2-0. Ugh. I wish it'd been 3.5.
They're playing in Cleveland, and the over/under is 41.
I'll take the over. Ugh. 3.5 made this a somewhat easier assignment.
2.5.
I know. Wish it was 3.5. 2.5. Okay, I'll take Dallas because it's 2. Wait, no, wait a second. No, I won't. There's only 2.5. So, wait, will I? God. Okay, so the Cowboys are just giving 2.5, right?
No, the Clowns are giving. The Clowns are playing at home. The Cowboys are getting. The Cowboys are giving the Clowns. Yeah.
So
Is Cleveland getting the 2.5 or giving the 2.5?
They're giving the 2.5.
No, Cleveland is getting the 2.5.
That's what I thought. Okay,
yeah.
That makes more sense. Okay, okay, good. So that makes it easier, a little easier. Okay, so Cleveland is getting the 2.5. But I think Dallas can win this game by 3, so I'll still go with Dallas. If it was 3.5, I would take Cleveland. And is there a prop bet?
Yep. The Clowns quarterback, Mr. Massage, throws for 3 TDs and has 75 yards rushing. The Cowboys quarterback, Dak Prescott, throws 3 TDs and has 2 interceptions.
Okay, I think it's 2-0 for Zach, and I think it's 2 passing touchdowns, and I think it is 47 rushing yards. I don't think he gets to 75 rushing yards for Deshaun Watson.
Okay. Dave.
Okay, I'm going to go over on the points.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that the Cowboys cover. Now on the other ones, Deshaun Watson, he had a game back in 2017 where he threw 4 touchdown passes and rushed for 50 yards. But he's never had 3 or more touchdown passes and 75 yards. Yep. So I'm going to say no way. I'll be shocked if that happens. I don't even know if he's going to finish it as Cleveland's starter. And then what was the other question?
Dak throws for 3 TDs and 2 interceptions.
Well, he's capable of it. But I think last year, I looked at his stat thing on the Pro Football Reference, and he's thrown more than one interception in 19 games. But last year, he only had one game where he had more than one interception. So I'll say no, because he's not going to throw 2 interceptions.
Okay. Dave, the Commanders are getting 3, playing the Bucks, and the over/under is 44.
I'm going to take the under and the Bucks.
Don,
Yes.
Commanders getting 3 versus the Bucks. Over/under is 44.
Yeah, I'll go with I'll take Bucks and the points, and I'll go under the 44.
Okay. Bill,
The Commanders and the over.
okay. Our 5:00 game. The Rams are getting 3, playing the Lions. And gentlemen, this one is considered a shootout. The over/under is 50.5. Bill?
I'll take the under. And you said the point spread was?
The point spread is the Rams are getting 3.5.
3.5. I will say the Rams then.
Okay, prop bets. Wide receiver Puka Nacua and running back Karen each see pay dirt in this high-scoring affair.
Kyron Williams and Puka Nacua both score. I will say, I think Kyron Williams does, but I think actually it is Cooper Kupp. So I know because then Cooper Kupp gets the receiving touchdown.
Okay, so that's a no for you?
No, because I think actually it's Cooper Kupp who gets it. Although they're patented rub plays in the red zone.
Second part, Jared Goff throws 4 TDs in the home opener.
No. Four is a little rich, but I could see him getting to 3, yes.
Don?
I'll take the Lions and the points. Over/under, I would say under. I'm like Bill on that. I think Cooper Kupp scores before Puka does. Jared Goff, he'll definitely get 2, maybe 3, but not 4.
Dave?
Okay, I'm going to say under on the points. I think one will score, but not both, between Puka and Kyron Williams. And I'm going to say so no. And then for Goff, maybe he gets 3, but not 4. And I'm going to take LA in the points. I was going to take Detroit, but since Demetrius chose to board a flight instead of being on the SportdKrib tonight, I'm going to go with LA in the points.
This is a hard one for me.
Hey, Bill, who did you take in on the Vikings or the Rams and the Lions? Who did you take?
On the Rams, Lions, the line was 3.5.
Yeah.
Rams are getting 3.5.
Right, the Rams are getting 3.5. That makes it interesting. So I think the Lions win by 3, so I end up taking the Rams.
I'm taking the Lions too, Dave. Let's see. Bill, Monday Night Football. The Airplanes are getting 4 points against the 49ers. The 49ers have signed both Trent Williams and Ayuk to start their season. So, Bill, what do you think here? Airplanes getting 4 points against the 49ers at home. Over/under is 43.
I'll take the Jets and the over.
Take the Jets and the over. Okay. Um, Prop bets here, Bill. Rusty Ayahuasca throws 2 TDs as the airplane's opener, but the O-line yields 5 sacks.
I think Aaron Charles Rodgers does get 2 touchdowns passing. I don't think they give up 5 sacks. I think one of the things they've really worked on one is just being healthier on their offensive line than last season, but also they've supplemented some of those positions where they had so much trouble on the interior of their line. So I think it's a better offensive line performance.
Okay. Second part, tight end Slim Kettle. What did he lose? 35 pounds? He'll catch a TD pass from Purdy.
Yeah. What the heck? Sure. I'll let. Yeah. And plus, he's just a cool celebrator. So we'll get some of the cool, wildly interesting celebration out of him. So yes, let's see him score.
Okay. Final thoughts, Bill.
Well, I mean, I was like everybody. I was really happy to see football back, and then of course, as was mentioned earlier, we all got some terrible, disturbing, and all too common news about what happened in northern Georgia here this earlier today, and everyone wants to blame something, whether it be mental health, the breakdown of the family, access to guns, a whole bunch of things. And people are saying, oh, we need more armed people in our schools. And people are saying, no, we need fewer armed people in our schools. Oh, we need God in our schools. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things we need in our schools. And both Don and I have worked in schools before. The main thing you need is to know what's going on with the kids. That's the main thing. When people say, well, why didn't this happen more in the 70s and more in the 80s and, didn't really start happening until the late 90s and all this stuff? Well, I'll say one thing. I think that students don't get to know teachers as well, and teachers don't get to know students as well as they once did. And I remember once getting yelled at for making sure that a young lady made it home to a place that doesn't exist anymore in Chicago, actually. They got rid of the Greeny Grain housing projects, but a very talented young lady who ended up getting a full ride to, I think, Blackburn University, but she needed a ride home and had missed the activity bus after school, and it was something you weren't supposed to do, and improper and whatever. And I took her home anyway. It was late, or getting late, and it was a time of year where sun was going down and whatever. And I just said, I'll take it. And here's what I'll say. I got yelled at, I got reprimanded, I got told never to do it again, all that kind of stuff. But I prioritized the person over procedure. And I get why these procedures are in place. I do. Because, once again, it looks improper. She's an attractive 17-year-old and all that crap that people talk about. And it just looks bad and all that stuff. I get all that. But if you knew what was going on in Cabrini Green at that particular time in the mid-90s, I decided it was worth the risk to my reputation, my job, whatever. We are at a place, and once again, teachers are still working hard and still doing good jobs and everything like that. But there's partially due to the concerns that legitimate concerns that people have about what people will say if you get too close to a kid, if you put your arm around a kid, if you talk to them too much and all this other stuff. I get it. I 100% get it. But that, to me, is the biggest difference. Access to firearms in America has always been easy. Don, you live in Texas. You probably held your first gun before you were 12. It's easy to get your hands on guns in America. That's not, whether you like it or you don't like it, that's not the biggest issue. We have more guns than people in this country, and it's been true. That's been true for a while. And mental health. People have had mental health struggles forever. It's not just that. It's not just the socioeconomics. It's not just violent video games. It's not just breakdown of the family. All those things are things that have existed before. But I remember distinctly there was a school shooting that was prevented by a assistant football coach, if memory serves me correctly, who also was, I believe, a PE teacher as well, who literally disarmed a kid just by walking up and saying, "Do you want a hug?" Right? And while that is a rare and courageous act, it is an act based on the fact that this person knew the kid, like really knew this kid. And I think really knowing the kids and knowing what's going on with them is the real. There's no magic bullet, but the closest I think is knowing the kids better, making it so that people don't fear for their jobs because they take the extra time, put forth the extra effort to really get to know what's going on in a kid's life. And obviously you'd like to have school counselors and guidance counselors, whoever counselors, but I don't know what your experience was, Don, or it has been, but those people, in my experience, see the kids a couple of times a year, as opposed to seeing them every day. And so while I'd love there to be like a mental health response team or whatever you want to call it, that's in every school and is cued in and plugged into every kid that's having a problem. And unless somebody has both the time, energy, and funding to make that happen, then your first line of defense and your best line of defense is teachers who know the kids and are willing to do what it takes to make sure they know what's going on in kids' life and what kids are in trouble. That's my final thought.
Great final thought there, Bill.
Well said, Bill.
Don, let's go Monday Night Football here. Airplanes getting 4 points against the 49ers. The over-under is 43.
I'll take 49ers in the points. It's going to get ugly.
Over-under, Don, 43. No hook.
I think it'll be over that.
Okay. Ayahuasca throws 2 touchdowns, but he gets sacked 5 times.
He'll throw a touchdown. He'll probably get sacked about 3 times. 5 is kind of that's a big number for even that game, but I'll say get sacked 3 times.
Well, I'm giving Joey Bosa 2 and the rest and everybody else 3. I think.
I do think Kittle does get a touchdown from Purdy. Probably get 2 touchdowns from Purdy.
Ooh, okay. All right.
That's going to be an ass kicking.
Okay, Don. Final thoughts.
All right, final thoughts. Well, someone said it earlier, football season is definitely here, and so Saturday I got to enjoy my Longhorns putting it to Colorado State, which we expected. I was expecting that kind of ass whipping, but it was fun.
Don,
I got to see Arch throw.
Don, somebody said 50 players got in on that game.
They did. Yeah, it was. Yeah, everybody had to play. I mean, they had walk-on running back running the ball. They had this kid that just came from the team from SMU as a graduate transfer. He ran the ball. I mean, it was crazy. True freshman, Ryan Wingo. It's fun to watch. But this week's will be a little bit different. You got Michigan. Michigan is the that they are. They have the longest home winning streak going on right now. And so even though they're still tough. They still have a great defense, have pretty good defense, secondary. So I think my Longhorns will be in for a nice little game. It should be fun. The weather, the high is supposed to be 60, which is a lot different than they had in Austin Saturday. So the team should be fresh. So I'm looking forward. That's my final thought.
All right. Hey, Dave, airplanes getting 4. Over under is 43.
Yeah, I'm going to take the over on the points and go with the 49ers.
I'm also taking the 49ers. What do you think here, Bill? Ayahuasca throws 2 TDs, but gets sacked 5 times.
Yeah, I think you asked me this already. I think he does get the two touchdowns. 5 sacks seems tad high. I could see him getting sacked 2 or 3 times. I think they, like I said, I think they two
Sure,
things. One is
goes-
the ball's going to come out quickly, and I think they've fixed some of the problems on our offensive line.
I think that Rodgers he could throw for 2 touchdowns. I think he could do it, but if he gets sacked 5 times, he might be out for the season. I've said all along. For me, the jury's out. On him returning from that Achilles injury. I'm still not convinced he can complete a full season. I'll be interested to see how he looks moving around. But if I'm going to say no, he doesn't get sacked 5 times, because if he does, he might not be coming back next week. So that's that.
And Kettle?
Kittle, yeah, I think he scores. I mean, the 49ers have so many weapons. And they got Ayuk back. I mean, but I could definitely see Kittle scoring as well.
You can see by the way I worded the question what I think of ayahuasca. I think Joey Bosa gets at least 2 sacks himself. And like I said, I think the rest of the 49ers linebackers or maybe even the safety gets a sack. So I think they're going to throw the kitchen sink at Rodgers because, as you said, they're going to test him to see whether or not he can perform.
Yeah,
So
he might not finish the game.
Hey, I mean, like you said, he might not finish the game. I don't think he's going to finish the season, but
now, you were looking for a running back who might get close to 50 yards or whatever yards receiving. Here's your guy. Breece Hall's going to catch a lot of balls. The ball's coming out quickly. Be ready to cover the flat. The ball's coming out.
Okay. And Dave, your final thoughts?
Yeah, well, and I think that Reggie mentioned it, before he left. Hey, football season's here, but baseball's still going on. And I'm heading up to Pittsburgh on Sunday to catch a Pirates game. They're playing the Nationals. Of course, Sue pointed out that it's an afternoon game right when the Steelers are playing their opener. So I'm going to have to be following the Steelers game on my phone. I should have done my planning with Sue before that. I'm actually going with some alumni from our rugby team. And we're hooking up with some of the current rugby players from California, PA. But anyway, so I'm going to catch the game. It's tough to stay enthusiastic for a losing team. But in the meantime, I heard from an old high school classmate, and he reached out to me. He goes to Berry College down in Georgia, I think it is. Or he's involved with Berry College. And they have a table at the Roberto Clemente Foundation's annual Ambassadors Day celebration. So he's invited me to go up next week, and I'm going to go up for the dinner. And this is when and it's at the Heinz History Center. So this is when they recognize all the contributors that are trying to fulfill Roberto Clemente's legacy. And part of their thing is building nations of good, because when he lost his life, he was actually going to accompany a cargo plane taking supplies to Nicaragua. But his main issue, the reason he was going, was he was concerned about the corruption with the country. And he wanted to make sure that the supplies got to the people that actually needed it and didn't go to the wrong people. And I think corrupt governments And I'm including our own all around the world. That's a big issue, and I think that part of Roberto Clemente's legacy is, hey, look out for the people. That's what you have to do, and he personally took it upon himself to do that. A lot of people would have just thrown money, so I'm very proud to go to this dinner. It'll be next Thursday night, and so I've never been before, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay. Guys, remember, if you haven't already, that we have a fantasy sports league with Smash Up Sports, a new platform coming out. You can check them out. They'll be doing their show with us Saturday. Bill, are you available Saturday? Same time?
It's what, 9? No, what time
10.
is it? 10.
That'd be your time, I believe.
Okay. So 10 your time or 10 my time?
10 your time.
10 my time. Yeah, I probably
No. 10 my time, 1 your time.
Oh.
1 o'clock.
Then I'm probably not available. Yeah. That's unfortunately, that's a little too late for me now.
All right. Well, if you get a chance, I'll send you a link anyway. It's
Okay.
10 a.m. California time, 1 o'clock Eastern time. Thank everybody for coming on tonight. Dave, unlike you, I'm a little worried about this first game. If we go down in Atlanta and then start out, against Denver 0-2, I'm going to be a little worried. It's about all I can say on that one there. By the way,
you won't be alone. You won't be alone.
By the way, Dave, what happened to that money that we set aside for Ayuk and then didn't get him? Are we still going after another?
Well, they just actually what part of what they did is they, but this actually freed up money. They signed Hayward to a 3-year extension, but it's really the way that this contract is. His $16 million is guaranteed this year, which is what he was going to make. But then a lot of that was put into a signing bonus, so that freed up even more money. So I think that if they can do it by this Friday, is maybe sign Freiermuth to an extension. Maybe 3 years. I don't know, 10, 11 million a year, something like that.
What are we going to do for a number 1 wide receiver, Dave?
Well, Mike Tomlin is basically he went in and he challenged the wide receiver room, and they're going to have to step up, because right now I don't see something happening this week. And even if it did happen this week, that player probably wouldn't be much involved in the first game against Atlanta.
Is there a $28 million wide receiver out there, Dave?
No, but one of the things that we did in our town hall, we went through Monday night. We went through our game by game record, and we came up with 11-6. I thought that they were going to be like 10-7, anywhere from 7-10 to 10-7, but I went optimistic at 10-7. But one of the things that on the town hall that people were talking about is the Steelers had requested to extend the trading deadline this year, which was done. And it just so happens that with the Steelers bye week, which is week 9, that they would be able to do a trade. And so then there's some talk, at least among the Steelers town hall people, that maybe that, depending on how Seattle season goes, maybe they go after DK or the Raiders, Devontae. Is it Devontae Adams?
Yeah.
Devontae Adams.
from the Raiders, and that maybe it's so that if the Steelers are in a position to make a playoff run, where they're like if they can do it, that maybe they'll make a trade before the deadline for a wide receiver. But it would all depend on the way the discussion went. Is it would depend on what the record, like if they're out of it, if they're like 2-6, well, they're not going to do it. But if they're in a position to make a run, then maybe there's the incentive for the Steelers to make a trade for a wide receiver before the deadline. And then depending on how Seattle's and Raiders season is going, maybe they would be amenable to giving up their wide receiver.
Don, any news down there in Dallas? Micah?
No, not really.
Oh man, okay. Anything from the Texans? Have you
What
heard
about the
anything?
Texans?
I said, have you heard anything about the Texans? It's kind of when you don't hear from Jerry, you get a little nervous.
Yeah. No, the Texans. I mean, I don't really go to their website or anything to check what's going on. I just read what's on ESPN, but I just know that they're ready for their game coming up, and I think they'll do well.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing Anthony Richardson. But hey, guys, like I said, great show. Always glad to have everybody in, and look forward to seeing everybody next week. So have a great weekend, and see you soon. Thank everyone.
Care.
Yeah.
Have a good night, guys. Everybody.
Have a great one.
We are just less than 20.